Hello everybody! Today we are going to look at reported speech. It's also called indirect speech, same thing. If we really want to understand this grammar, we need to look at direct speech, backshifting, reported verbs, modal verbs, reported questions and reported comments. I know it looks like a lot of information, but we'll do everything step by step. Let's start with direct speech. I love your bag. The exact word someone uses is called direct speech. In writing you can recognize them because of quotation marks. Quotation marks are the little lines around the word or sentence. Amy said, I love your bag. Amy said that she loved my bag. When we report speech, we summarize what someone said to us. And you can see that I've changed a few things. Present simple becomes past simple, and I've changed the pronouns. I and your becomes she and mine, because I'm speaking from a different perspective. And that is optional. You don't have to say it. Changing the tense from present simple to past simple is what we call backshifting. But why do we backshift? It really makes sense. Let's do another example. Someone says, I forgot to do my homework. He uses the past simple tense. Robin said to the teacher that he had forgotten to do his homework. You can see that I've changed the past simple tense to the past perfect. And I've changed the pronouns. I and my becomes he and his. When we report speech, we also need a reporting verb, like say or tell. There are a lot of reporting verbs in English. Complain, agree, mention, etc. But tell and say are the most common. Why aren't you going out with us tonight? I already said that I was sick. I already told you that I was sick. Both verbs mean the same thing. When we use tell, we must use the person who we are speaking to. I told you that I was sick. I told him that I was sick. I told the dog that I was sick. I told the whole world that I was sick. We don't do the same with the word say. I say you I was sick. No, I say to you that I was sick. Okay, let's keep going. Let's continue with all backshifting. We know that English has 12 basic tenses: present tenses, past tenses, and future tenses. The present tenses. When we report them, they become past tenses. It's easy to remember: present simple, past simple. Present simple, past simple. With the past tenses you can see past simple becomes past perfect. Past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. Past perfect and past perfect continuous, we mean the same. Future tenses. All the future sentences have the verb will in them. What's the past of will? Would. So we change will to would. For example, will be sleeping. He told me that he would be sleeping. Let's keep going with a few more examples. I was in Italy. She said she had been in Italy. I used reporting word, backshifting, and I've changed the pronouns. I have been cleaning my room since morning. She said she had been cleaning her room since morning. I used reporting verb, backshifting, and I've changed the pronouns. And one more example. I'm staying here for 2 nights. Sean said that he was staying there for 2 nights. You can see my changes. I've used my reporting verb, present continuous becomes past continuous, and I've changed the pronouns. You can also see in this example that I've changed that verb, because Sean's here is my there. So keep in mind that sometimes you also need to change adverbs or the location. For example, this becomes that. Okay, let's look what else we can change. This becomes that. These, those. Now, then. Today, that day. Tomorrow, the next day. Next week, the following week. Yesterday, the day before. Last week, the previous week. Ago, before. And here becomes there. Here I have a list of very special verbs. These verbs are called modal verbs. And if we report modal verbs, we need to change them. Let's take a look at them. Will becomes would. Can, could. May, might. And must changes to had to. I can't swim. He told me he couldn't swim. You must pay for parking. The man said that we had to pay for parking. We have two more things to do: reported questions and reported comments. Let's start with general questions. Are you a student at this university? When we report questions, the backshifting and the change in pronouns are the same, but of course the grammatical structure is a little bit different. That lady asked me if I was a student at this university. My reporting verb is asked because it's a question. Common mistake. That lady asked me if was I a student at this university. Remember that indirect question is not a real question, so you don't need to change the subject and verb, and you don't need a question mark. Do you like red wine? The waiter asked my friend if she liked red wine. Asked, if, subject and verb. Okay, let's move on. What about other questions, like special question? I mean, who, what, when, where, and how? Where do you live? Why can't you work on Mondays? Who will be at your party? She asked me where I lived. We don't need to say she asked me where do you live. And because of it's not a real question, we can drop that auxiliary. Asked, question word, subject, verb. My boss asked me why I couldn't work by Mondays. Reporting verb, question verb, subject, and verb. He asked me who would be at my party. Reporting verb, question verb, verb, subject. Sit down, be quiet, do your homework, don't look at your telephone. These are imperatives. Imperatives are the commands. They tell someone what to do. When we report imperatives, we change the grammar again. There is another structure. We normally use tell. Tell the person plus infinitive, the base verb. My mom told me to sit down. She told me to be quiet. She told me to do my homework. She told me not to look at my phone. I really hope this lesson helped you with reported